Hello everyone, I hope you are all doing great today. In this video I will be showing you some creatures I have seen in the Starfield Direct that I think you will be equally amazed and grossed out by. I spent a while going through this footage, so like at the end of the video would be greatly appreciated, as well as a sub. I hope you enjoy this video. Now let's get into this. I'm going to be grouping creatures into land-based creatures and then flying types. Let's look at the ground-based creatures first. So first I want to show you this bizarre looking platypus fungal creature. We see this guy multiple times throughout the direct gameplay. It's clearly a favourite. To me this creature doesn't look infected, but it's clearly a strange mash together of different creatures. Like I said, a fungal looking creature. I like how many odd tube-like things it has coming out of its body. It almost makes me think that they might be for defence, that it may excrete a pungent smell or toxic fume if threatened. I really like the design of this creature. I do hope we find it on other worlds with a different camouflage or pattern like other creatures. We see a family unit of this kind of creature too, confirming that we will see these creatures in different stages of their life cycle. I like that detail. Next up we have a very odd creature again, but in a stranger way. This looks like a mashup between a flower, a stick insect, and a mantis. To an untrained eye we may think this is bad design, but after scrolling through the footage, I can see how this creature could be. It's clearly some sort of ambush predator. Its face looks like a flower, and its body like a branch. It sits in wait for an unsuspecting victim. As soon as the predator's meal is in range, it pounces from its hiding spot and devours it. I really like this design. Unfortunately, I hate bugs, and there's plenty of bugs in Starfield. Oh joy. This bug isn't as bad as some others in this showcase. It's cute in a strange way. I love the colour of it. I can just make out its small eye and mouth in the centre of those two massive things. I'm not sure, but for some reason I feel like this creature may emit a sonic frequency that may discombobulate its dinner. I'm not sure, but those massive circle-shaped things don't look like eyes to me. It's clearly got to be carnivorous in nature, as I can't really see any vegetation in the immediate area. Again, another great design. Taking a quick break from bugs, we can see these amazing dinosaur-like creature towering above the player. They have dangling tendrils, most likely for sensing smells or for mating purposes. It is clearly scaled, and its hide looks very thick. When a creature has stripes on it, it is usually to break up the creature's shape. Perhaps it could be to either blend in with its environment or disguise itself from its prey. From its long neck I can make some educated guesses. It's either a treetop leaf or fruit eater, or it may snatch those bird-like creatures out of the sky with its longish neck. Perhaps it has a long tongue like a chameleon to pluck them out of the sky. We'll find out in September. Next up we have a very interesting looking creature. It has big eyes, a massive smiling mouth, no hands, a strange flat hump on its back as well as a clubbed tail, and to top it off it's covered in fur. This is such a bizarre looking creature. It's clearly an herbivore as it has uniocular vision. It is massive too. I really like this design of a creature. It holds both familiarity and obscureness. I really like it. The way it shakes its head is so cute. I wish we could tame and mount them. That hump would clearly be the best place to set up a little camp and saddle. It's a right missed opportunity. Great. Back to bugs. This creature is nightmare fuel. To me it looks like an experiment gone horribly wrong. Its 6 legs and horrible face just makes me want to run away from such a creature instead of shooting it down. It looks incredibly tough, its carapace looking very thick. It easily dispatches a UC security officer with one of its mighty legs. The creature also looks like it has a legendary effect on it. Like enemies did in Fallout 4, it's glowing an odd red colour. I need a break from bugs again. So this creature looks very odd. It clearly is an herbivore as it's hanging around the trees snacking on the leaves. It has a unique structure to it, having holes in between its flesh like that. It gives off a gross vibe. It's quite a tall creature too. I really like the crest on top of its head. Again, I'm getting dinosaur vibes from it. And I really like dinosaurs, so more of that please. This creature here is a very weird looking one. It's a twin-tail herbivore. It clearly has been pushed by this player to defend itself, or the player got too close. It's clearly different from the bugs we have seen so far, so it is hard to classify it as a bug creature, or a reptile kind of creature. Either way, I want it to back off. I do like its strange-looking ears, probably to listen out for predators. The more I look at it, the more I'm intrigued by it. Better move on now. This next creature is clearly identifiable. It's a bug, a hunting thorn mantis to be specific. It's interesting to see that it launches forward with its sharp teeth instead of trying to grab its prey with its front legs. Hopefully it has a few types of attack patterns. I really like the look of this creature. It can blend in well in its environment, as the colour of its carapace matches the environment well enough. The thorny nature of this creature matches its name well. All the eyes make me feel very unnerved. Great job, designers. These next bugs remind me so much of the praying mantis. I love that it's red, but I believe there are also green ones. Clearly these mantises are chasing down this other bug-like creature in a duo hunting party. This is cool to see. The detail on the creature is fantastic. The animations match the creature very well. I really like seeing this close to home bug style, as it makes the universe more believable in a way. We also see this strange boar-like creature in this shot too. Originally I thought it had a big horn, but after closer inspection, it's a mouth opening and closing. It's a very odd beak, like mouth shape-wise. I look forward to scanning this creature and finding out more about it. I do find it strange that the mantises aren't chasing it or the player, in all honesty. Mustn't be hungry. Next up we have a tank of a bug. I thought it was a praying mantis type of bug, but again after looking closer it resembles more of a rhino beetle. Although that horn on top of its back looks like it has teeth for tearing chunks off creatures. It's a very hard creature to see, but this just adds to the mystery and intrigue to the game. Good God, that octopus is walking. This is the only other thing from bugs that freak me out. The hunting cephalopod. I'm very confused at its presences on such a dryish looking planet, to be honest. It looks great, but this is the first sort of feeling I got where I was brought out of the game a little. It really should be near water, or on a very wet planet. Plus, from what I have heard, octopuses are quite intelligent, and would probably feel after being hurt that much. To me this scene looks like they've spawned in this cool looking creature, and killed it to level up and show that off. Kinda wish they used something else here. Next up we see some of the amazing fish design in this game. The little fish look like mini sharks, but with many more fins, and the big fish reminds me of that razor saw shark from our history. Again, great looking creatures. I do hope we get to see them in the water swimming about, as well as to be able to hunt them ourselves. Personally, I'm staying out the water as that thing looks like it could eat you whole. I really like the armor plating it has. It makes me think that there are more scary fish in the sea, or they are cannibals, and need to defend themselves from other members of their species. Fantastic design. Next, we see a bug that reminds me of an ant of all things. It scurries off quite quickly. It has large horns, and I imagine it wouldn't have a problem skewing us. This next creature is so majestic. It reminds me of an elephant for some reason. I love its design. It has a bone-like armoured plating around its body, and a big club on its tail. The creature has a few eyes on its head, and a small-looking trunk. It clearly feeds on fruit or leaves it plucks from trees. I doubt it has many predators because of its sheer size. I really want to see this thing use its clubbed tail to whack a predator or two. It looks great. It looks like it may travel in a herd or a couple. Next up, we see this creature stuffed and mounted in the Freestar Collective's headquarters. It's a fierce-looking monster. Very well protected, as well as large teeth. Clearly one scary predator. It looks big from this angle, but I think it may be a smaller pack animal. We then see these walking rock creatures. Clearly bugs, but they look nice from behind. I'd rather giant bugs be walking away from me than towards me. Again, looks great and different from the other things we have seen. We get some scanning action on this creature. We scan it and some information about it is revealed. This creature is called a herding crab herbivore, and its temperament is wary. I really like the design of the creature. Getting a real mire lurk energy from it. I really like it. I'm hoping for funny references to Skyrim and Fallout in it somewhere. Maybe even the creatures appearing like giant dragons or death claws. Would love that. Next up we have the sail gator. It has a big sail on its head, probably to cool it off in some way. Although it seems to be -18 on the planet right now, maybe it extends in the day. It has a ranged mouth attack, so probably can spit at you, and it too is wary. It also is a tough cookie with 170 health. I really like how it happily trots along. Next, we get to see a sweet swamping dragon. This beast looks cool, it's a shame it gets blotted out in green when scanned. I'd like to zoom in on it without getting close. It has a burning damage ability, so can probably breathe fire. I really like this design, especially the dragon's head. It looks so menacing and clearly its main way of attacking. Again, really a shame we can't tame and ride them. Again with the crab looking bugs. This guy looks funny. I like how he plods along and his little trunk bounces with every step. It makes me laugh. Again, the graphics look amazing. These look proper believable creatures. Behind that beastie crab is one hell of a monster. This guy looks terrifying. This spider wasp is a bug I would like to avoid at all costs. It's quick and hard hitting. I love the work gone into the texturing, modelling and animation. They've really brought these bugs to life. Next up we have this nightmare fuel bug. It looks like a stinger kind of creature, but gosh, looking at it makes my skin crawl. That's how you know they've done a great job. We can see this creature has these odd protrusions coming from its body. Most likely extrasensory glands. I love the creativity that goes into making these. The way it walks with all its legs is cool too. Up next, the player is playfully bopping this creature on the nose. This to me looks like a similar creature to the first one we discussed. Maybe it's a distant relative to that species. I really like its eye stalks. It reminds me of the first life that was on our planet, just bigger and walking on 2 feet. I can see where the inspiration comes from, and it makes sense when seeing that. We also see a bird-like creature swing overhead. This creature looks like it has a few tentacle arms too. This shroom head is a very odd-looking creature. Now this is a dino. It looks cool. More skin than scales, but it runs like a dino. This twist fin clearly wants us as its dinner. Looking more closely, it reminds more of a mole rat for some reason. Maybe because of the hairs coming off its snout. As the player gets bitten, we manage to give it a boot back. This guy looks well adapted for a desert planet. It probably uses its fins to catch the wind and stay cool. I really like this design. Now this creature looks very infected with some sort of fungal disease, probably brain rot. To me the body reminds me of a salamander, but the head is straight up dung fly. It's a silly looking creature and I want to stay away from it. The maggot maw looks very disgusting. It's hard to look at. That's how gross it is. I have no idea how the player has the courage to go hand to hand with it. I'm also more of a burn it with fire type of thinker too, as well as turn it to mush with a microgun. I really like how it does a defensive jump back as you attack it. I think that's cool behaviour. As most of the enemies we face in Bethesda games tend to stand there and just get hit. We see it quite a lot in this trailer. I do hope they are more responsive. This next creature is one of my favourites. It reminds me of a seahorse of all things. I do wonder if these animals will have swimming animations. I really like the sail it has on its neck, spine and tail. It's an amazingly done creature. The skin texture looks scaly, but with a skin texture too. There's even a perfect spot to ride it, but unfortunately we can't. Next up we have this huge worm-like creature. Clearly the player has killed it, and now posing with. The mouth looks very odd to me, kind of low poly, but the texturing looks great though. We see the first creature in the Starfield Direct. It's an odd one, very dinosaur-like, which makes it great in my book. I think its skull is in the tavern we see in the beginning too. This is gross, but I love when creatures make their homes in man-made things. There's a strange vibe about it. We see a little bug scuttling around. That's the last of the ground-based creatures we can see in the Direct. Let's look at the flying creatures. First we have the Mothwing. These creatures have a unique wing. Their flying style looks cool. I'm looking forward to seeing them closer. We also see some floating jellyfish type of creatures. We then see a giant creature flying. It looks fantastic. We see more flying creatures. Here, look at these. The last creature we see is a humanoid creature. I still think this is the player wearing a costume, probably for a quest. Right, that's all the creatures I could find in the Starfield Direct. Please let me know what your favourite creature was from the Direct. Like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.